introduction for you guys. Our new VP of Business Development, Tomi Moore.
Hey guys, it's Tomi with NPR Title with Tomi Talks Title Tuesday. Let's get into this.
Okay, I had a few technical difficulties, but I'm here. Hey guys, it's me. It's Tomi with NPR Title with Tomi Talks Title Tuesday with Tomi Talks, the podcast. So we're going through a little bit of rebranding because I've been calling it Tomi Talks Title Tuesday, but I haven't been really talking about title lately. I've been showcasing a bunch of different partners in real estate, really to talk about their businesses, what they do, and really just how it connects with title and just building those partner relationships. And this week, I'm just super excited, and I want to kick this week off because I'm speaking on Thursday at TK's in Addison, and I'm going to be talking about AI and ChatGPT for real estate agents. So I'm going to be taking a deep dive, showing real estate agents just how to use ChatGPT in their day-to-day business. But kicking this week off with AI. Yeah, I'm excited. AI. So y'all know that I'm a geek by now. I know I work in title, and you're like, how does this relate to title? Well, it does, because I have literally been trying to introduce technologies to the title field, to the legal field, government for quite some time. But these industries are very laggard when it comes to adopting technologies. But we've got the people in place, use me as a go-between to help to break that information down, to explain it in layman's terms. But we've got the professionals that are here who've already created the tools that we need to get things going. But today I have a very special guest, Hoyt Mann, that I met in Austin. I'm trying to think, it was 2021 at TLTA. Such a phenomenal guy. He's like, pushing the boundaries. Like, hey, title, you need AI. Let's streamline some processes. Let's automate some things. And because I work in a title office, I know it's needed. So without further ado, Hoyt, come on up and introduce yourself.
Hey, Tomi, first, thank you so much for inviting me to come on your podcast today. I am absolutely honored to be here.
No, thank you.
This is, any chance I get to talk about technology, I am just super excited to do it. And, so again, my name is Hoyt Mann. I'm founder and president of Alanna.AI, and we're a technology company that is focused exclusively in the title industry. So therefore, we have put together some technology that we feel like is needed in the space. Tomi, as you just mentioned, there is such a need for communications and any tool that's out there that can elevate the customer experience, that can give title companies more time to do the work that they want to do, all the while communicating effectively. And that's what we hear is the number one challenge the title companies have is, how do I stay up with the communications? And and that's what Alanna's come to the marketplace to say, hey, look, we got a solution. We have a way that we can help you out. And so that's what we're doing.
Well, I absolutely love it. I do. I love it. I mean, we've had a couple of conversations about Alanna.AI a couple of times, and especially when we were at TLTA. And I was working for another company, PropLogix, at the time. And, I think our booth was like right across from one another. And I was talking to you guys about AI back then, and you're like, what is this girl talking about? Well, the fact that I understood, what you guys' mission and goal is. But, as I mentioned in the intro, like this industry, along with legal, government, they're all very laggard when it comes to adopting technologies. And so it's definitely been like a goal of mine, even here at NPR Title, to implement, automation, and whether that's through AI or a virtual assistant, and that's where you guys come into play, so that those processes can be completed. I work, as the VP of Business Development. I'm sales. And so one of the issues that I see, and this is just for me, what I see is like, me going into our database, and I won't name the name. We already had this conversation what it is. Go into our database, but those are manual processes to get them to complete them all. So I don't know if it's actually closed until like we run those final reports, but that's a manual task. And I would love to see the automation of it, like, because even I don't want to go in the system. I want like it to be integrated with my CRM and see that, hey, this is what we closed this month, and and we've got it all the way to post close. So before I jump way that, because I'm trying to die, right? But I want you to tell me first, like, because we're gonna come back to that. So tell me a little bit about your background. Like, how did you become interested in AI and then like bring it over to real estate? So that's really interesting because it sounds like me.
Sure. No, I appreciate that for sure. I've been in technology, and I hate to admit this, this month, actually 30 years within technology. And so I have been around the block on bleeding edge technology my entire career. But at one point, I had an opportunity to work with Randall Nelson, that is the founder of RamQuest software.
Oh,
and
nice.
So Randall and I started working together over 20 years ago at RamQuest software.
Wow.
And that's my introduction to title. And, there's a long history there, but what actually came is when AI, we built a customer service platform, and we said, hey, what's a better way for customer service to be conducted than traditionally through phone and email and web portals? Right. We said, how can we do it even better in AI? And that was back in 2016, 2017. We started playing around with tech, with AI, and trying to find ways for AI to be applied to business in general. And then we ultimately came back and said, hey, the number one challenge in title companies is communication.
Absolutely.
And Tomi, you and I know communications are not slowing down. They're absolutely not slowing down. So we said, well, what else is happening there? And we said, if we could have text messaging and we could have an AI on the other side that can act 24/7 as a way to answer questions, and not just, the thanks for your message type question, but like detailed questions, like, absolutely, where's my closing? Yeah. How much do I bring to closing? Can I get a copy of the settlement statement? I mean, Tomi, all the questions that get asked.
All of the questions, and I'm on the other side. I'm on the sales side. But whenever I go into the office, it seems like those are the questions that are asked over and over and over again, which takes away from the folks that are trying to close, right? Exactly. Now, and especially like, us at NPR Title, we are a boutique title firm. So if I'm in the office, I go to the office today, if the phone rings, I'm going to answer the phone.
That's right.
And so if they're asking me for, their closing date, I'm like, and I am scrambling to look for it. But with that automation for them to be able to just get that information automatically, that would be a game changer. Well, it is a game changer.
It is. And I'm here to tell you that the AI can actually do it faster than a human can do it. That is the scary part. As you answer the phone, and you probably said a few nice things back and forth. I mean, it's you want to be pleasant, and then now you're scrambling for a login. Oh no, I got to pull up the screen. I got to log in, and then you're asking them questions like, well, what's your file number? Right. Or I'm having a search.
What's the property address? Something.
And now you've gathered that, and hopefully you've typed it right into the right place in the system. And then you're searching, and you're kind of fumbling around as you're trying to talk, and on the other hand, trying to search. And then at the end of it all, you finally get to that question. You finally get to that answer. And then you give it to them. They're like, okay, thanks. And believe it or not, 15 or 20 minutes has went by. Yes. But with the one text message into Alanna, it reaches in that production system, gets that answer, and that person's on their way. You've saved them time. You've saved you time. and everybody's happier because they're on to the next thing after the 100 things that we all have to do in a single day.
Yes, that is absolutely, like, literally, like, a load has been lifted with just listening to you. And I know my team can definitely appreciate Alanna.AI, because that's what we struggle with. It's the phone calls, it's the in which, I hate to pick on investors, but I do. And I'm not talking about the huge commercial investors. I'm talking about, the ones that are buying the flips and fixes and that don't have a real estate background.
Right.
And they constantly call the office, like, asking questions. And we don't have the time to, like, babysit. And it's, it's very time consuming. So Alanna.AI would actually give us our time back from answering all of those questions. And I know that I would appreciate it.
Well, and think about it. I mean, from the side of that investor, you want to keep them happy because they're going to drive business your way. Absolutely. And so that's that white glove service that you want to provide. And you know what? The truth be told, most, if not all, title companies want to give exceptional customer service. I mean, everybody has that desire, but it's how can you really take action to do that? And it's either you're hiring a bunch more people, or you can leverage technology. And that technology can be fairly affordable, as you're not having to hire and build a bigger staff to answer all these, more and more questions, more and more communications, and you do it quick and easy over text message or a web chat, and you're on your way. But let's all be clear here. AI has its limitations, right? The human element is still necessary. I mean, I want to call up and talk to Tomi because she's my best friend, and if nothing else, I enjoy having a conversation.
Right. No, it's definitely, like a lot of folks, what's funny is, like, which I'm gonna actually, like, release the audio. I recorded my son and I talking about AI yesterday, and it was kind of funny. He was just like, "Oh, it's just a bunch of robots, and they're gonna plan an attack." And I'm like, "Wait a minute, hold on." Let's not talk about that. Like, of course, there are people out there that are plotting, to misuse AI. But let's look at it from a business point. Business in, like, how is this going to actually help us? And I know, like, in my especially, like, with creating sales campaigns and all of that, like, me being able to go to something as simple as ChatGPT to be able to, like, create a sales campaign for the next 90 days. And it's like, and it's giving me my time back to do the things that actually matter. Now I can actually pick up the phone and call folks to say, hey, how is this going? How can I help you? And then come up with a solution for them instantaneously using that type of technology. When before I'm like, okay, well, give me about a week, I'm going to figure it out, No, I have some ideas, but I'm just going to dump it there. So let me ask you, how do you see AI transforming the title industry? I know, like, with our preliminary conversation about, how, especially in Texas, we're very slow to adopt, Alanna.AI, and even any type of technology. I mean, I come from litigation support, and we had systems like relativity and all of those things, but it still took, SQL queries and to make it work. And I had to go and, do a Boolean. Like, I'm not even a technical person, but I understand the importance of, like, having technology such as Alanna.AI. So tell me, like, how do you see it transforming the title industry?
Yeah, the thing, I think the biggest thing we have to ask as we're in this industry together is, what actions are we taking that are valuable? What are we doing that adds value to the company and that really requires thought process and that kind of that kind of level of work. And then what are the other things? And we've been doing this for years, but I think the pace is quickening, is we identify areas of a title company that's like, why are we still doing this? Why are we still hammering that keyboard, doing data entry? That's something that's been copied 5 times and emailed in, and it's on, handwritten, things like that. All those areas I think are ripe for automation. And so one of the things that we're rolling out this year is we've done the conversational AI. So we've sat there and, we're trying to facilitate those communications from an automation perspective, and then from a response. Hey, how can I get my answers quick and instantaneously? Because everybody knows that instant gratification is kind of there. But so on the other side, the thing that we're focused in on is data extraction. You're looking at recognizing a document using AI to recognize docs, and then doing data extraction off those docs. Especially from a new order perspective, or a purchase agreement, being able to take that purchase agreement, and guess what? There's a wealth of information on that purchase agreement that's going to kick off 10 different processes in a title company. And so that's what we're focused in on, is how do we eliminate data entry? How do we escalate customer experience in a positive way, without, and then at the same time, on the flip side of the coin, it's saving a title company time, from a data entry perspective, or, folks that are answering phones, try to save their time as well. As so when those complex questions come in, they have the ability and the space to be able to address those complex questions that AI can't.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I'm just trying to sit here as you're saying that. I'm thinking about when I first got into, I call it like semi-technology. I was working for a law firm. This is, and since you said you've been in this space for, a long time, I guess I can tell my age to you.
Just so between us.
No, right. Early 2000s, 2005, I was working for a law firm, Brown McCarroll. And one of my first roles there was a case clerk. And actually, I started out as a temp, and I was actually going through boxes and bankers' boxes of documents. They were Ford Motor Company boxes, and I was to summarize what those documents said. I was a temp. I'm like, okay, well, what do I say? It's like, no, just say what you think this document is about. And then, you scan the document and you put into the system called summation. Now, it was supposed to be kind of OCRing it, but the reason why they had me to summarize it, just in case it didn't capture all of the data, right? Like, ironically, like years later, I was working for another firm, is when I moved to Dallas, where Ford Motor Company was the actual client. And I was going to Ford's database, looking for like key terms. And I thought, like, okay, what did I do when I worked at Brown McCarroll to find, issues that were going on? Well, I knew it was a human that entered that information. So I had to think how that human would enter that information. Right. One thing that I love, and that was like my struggle for years, like, how can we get this to become automated? Because a person shouldn't be doing this, because you can easily miss something. But the fact that even Alanna.AI even has the capabilities to, like, capturing that data and extracting it and putting it where it needs to go. When I say that, Jerry, if I can make the decision, but it would definitely save so much time, not only on the human element, the time. A couple of weeks ago, we got 14 contracts in from one investor. You know how time consuming that was?
I was going to say, yes. And that's the thing, with AI, that's probably less than 14 minutes worth of work, but I'm pretty sure it took most of the day to get that entered in.
Several of, our staff to be able to enter those contracts. And like, we've got to get our time back, folks, and use it where it's needed. And using technology is the way, especially AI.
Well,
so let me
one more comment on that is that, I think really one of the key elements is this concept of, I call it friction. The concept of friction. If you were to say, oh, I got this great technology, it's a web portal, I want you to come, I want you to log in, and those 14 contracts, I want you to put in all that data entry as the investor coming to our title company portal and do all that work. That's friction. That's not a smooth way to do business. That is, it's beneficial on the title company side, but that investor is like, you know what, title company B down the street, is not asking me to go to the portal and put all that information. I just send them my contracts and it's done.
Yeah.
And so they don't consider on the other side of that. And again, that's where I'm like, technology needs to create a smooth, interaction between the customer and the title company. And again, that's where I see opportunity.
Yes, absolutely. There's definitely tons of opportunity there. And, which is definitely not one of the questions, but it's just more or less like a conversation and carry on the conversation rather. It's because we are kind of hesitant as human nature, like to adopt any type of technology. Right. Again, I'm we're about the same age. I remember when the internet was introduced, now they have been working on the internet for years, right? Or not internet. Yeah, the internet for years. But then in 1995, they're like, hey, there's this, you could go out there on the web and you can look up just about anything you want to look up. And people are like, oh, I don't want to do that. Why would I do that? And now you don't even think without using the internet, right? Somebody asks you a question, you start feeling, oh, my head hurts. You go to, Google, like, what's wrong with your head? Like we use the internet for everything. And, cell phones, like everything has evolved, and AI is just us evolving to stop doing so many mundane, manual administrative tasks. Now, if it cuts out errors, it cuts off, it gives us time back, it creates, I always talk about process to real estate agents. I'm like, well, what's your process? And they're like, what do you mean? What's my process? Well, how do you do your transactions? Who is this? Like the title company, we do what we do every single time. But if you have a process, hey, we can adopt that process that, hey, this is how Shelly likes to do her deals. Then we know at what point we need to reach out to her client or whatnot. Right. But in the process, we're all just kind of figuring it out. Yeah. Well, it's a quick story. I know it takes a little bit of sidetrack, but I think so you see, I'm a Baylor Bear fan. And so by the flag, I was on the Baylor campus this past weekend, and hanging out with my daughter, my wife and my daughter were hanging out in this swing. And next thing you know, this little cooler looking robot rolls right in front of us. I'm like, what is that? And she goes, oh, that's Grubhub. I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, all the kids on campus can order Grubhub. Yeah. The food goes into that cooler and automatically goes to whoever ordered it. I'm like, and so the AI technology that's encapsulated in that food delivery service, to me, it just goes to our bigger point here, which we haven't really talked about, we are talking about, which is that we're, Tommy, I think you know this, I know this, we're in an AI revolution, and the revolution is now. We're in it right now. The AI revolution is happening, and it's everywhere you look. Yes. It's funny is I asked my son, when we had this little podcast yesterday, and I asked him, can you see the internet? Like physically see it? And he's like, no. Well, and I said, and when we go places, you ask for what? When you got your devices, the Wi-Fi code. I said, but it's there, and I was like, AI technology is like the internet. It's like, it's like Wi-Fi. Like you need those things in today's society to be able to fully function. And like you said, it's just one more, I don't know what the word is, strum or something on the guitar or something, like for it to sound right. Yeah. We, as the United States, we're really late in adopting, technologies. There are other countries that are like light years ahead of us. I mean, I went to Singapore in 2012 and they were doing things that I'm like, whoa, what year is this? Because we don't have those, capabilities in the United States. Like we're not doing those things. So I'm truly excited, like you've been studying for, doing this for a long time. Yes. I became interested in 2014, but it came from me working in litigation support and looking for those needles in a haystack to be able to come up with a quicker solution. And I'm just truly excited. But for those who are skeptical about adopting AI, especially in title offices, how do you address this? Because obviously in sales, it's like, that's a rebuttal. How do you overcome those objections?
Well, there's a stigma around AI for sure, and there's a fear, and I think it's a healthy fear around AI, in that it's unknown. Is it and can it do as good as a human? The answer is no, it can't do as good as a human can. But we are all being challenged to leverage AI to do what we do better and faster. And this is just another tool. And I think that's what everybody should be thinking about, is how can this tool help me to navigate my workload better? And so if you're like, nope, I can always do it faster, that's hard. It really is hard. But at the same time, I think everybody, it's more of a blended approach. And what I find people thinking about is more of an or scenario. It's AI or human. But I like to say, this is helping us. And the thing is that going back to my comment about friction, when there's a lot of friction in technology, it doesn't get adopted very easily or very fast. But at the same time, when you're honest with yourself as far as how AI has come into your life, it's come in the less friction areas. So it's like when you use Google Maps, when you use Alexa, when you use Siri, when all these different things you're doing, even on Netflix, and Netflix is suggesting things for you to watch. AI is coming in every area of our life.
Every area in your life. And it's been doing that for years, and people don't know. They don't realize it.
And so that to me is where, once you start being honest with, hey, AI is here and I'm leveraging it, why should I not leverage it in business to help me, do a little bit more or be a little bit more efficient in what I'm doing. I think when people are honest along those lines, then it opens it up. But the fear is it's going to replace me, and I think that's just the wrong scenario. It is. The fear is to enhance what you can do, because none of our jobs are getting slower. Everybody asks, it's like, I'm busy. I got more than I can do.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you leverage technology to make that work? So
so it's which I did a mini, I moved a little bit of my podcast over to Spotify, because I'm like, people that can't watch, they can just listen. And so I was kind of explaining ChatGPT and why it's important, and why people really should be adopting or adapting to AI technologies. And it's because you don't want to get left behind. That's one thing. Like, just imagine the folks, I get if you live in a society where there are no roads and, and you don't have to have a car, but you living in an area that, it's growing rapidly around you, and you're refusing to get a car, or you're refusing to use public transportation, or refusing to do anything that the society around you is doing, it's going to leave you like stuck in a box. And, and it's for sake of title, us not adopting technologies, implementing Alanna.AI or any type of solution that will streamline our processes and give us time and, take away some errors. Because we've had some stuff that, whether it's a transaction coordinator or real estate agent that have come in, and we go to put that information in there and it's missing. And, I love the fact that, these systems, these AI tools are saying, hey, how you try to fill out a questionnaire and it you need to fill in your email address or something. Like, I love the fact that you can't move forward because it recognizes, hey, this is wrong. And that's really helpful, especially when we're trying to get to the closing table.
Yes. And that's what everybody wants, that smooth closing. You want to show up, take care of business, and everybody's and it's those, like you said, it's the little things that can get lost along the way. And then when you drill into the root cause, he's like, okay, how did this happen? If you really do step back and how did this happen?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's like, well, I was really busy and a phone call came in and it took my attention. I got distracted, or a text message popped up. I got distracted. And then you lost your place in kind of what you're doing in like a 10-step process. So it's just too easy with, again, being bombarded left and right, and that's just where we're headed. So
that's exactly where we're headed.
we're on the same page here. I'm hopeful that people can take away from our talk here is to not be fearful, but to be curious and to open up and look for ways and just be open to exploring those different areas that maybe could have a solution out there, and that could give you back 30 minutes, 45 minutes, even an hour in your day. I mean, that would just be absolutely amazing.
Listen here, that is my dream. I told somebody the other day, I was like, within the next 5 years, I want everything to be fully automated. I want to be a Jetson. I want to wake up and, I just do like this and somebody brushes my teeth, a robot brushes my teeth. I'm like, I don't want to do anything but go for my jogs. I just want to show up and, be Mr. Jetson and push a button.
That's right.
So let me ask you, have you partnered with any like underwriters to help streamline like production processes or anything?
We haven't actually. So right now, I feel like we're in an education phase.
Okay.
It's like, just like what you and I are doing, like the market in and of itself they need some information. They need to understand what's out there and understand, maybe help, come up with creative ideas on how they can solve current challenges. And that's what we're doing here. So we work with underwriters to help when the sales reps are out talking to title agents, be able to have a little bit of ammunition in their back pocket to talk about AI.
I love that.
Or make a connection, say, hey, reach out to Tomi to talk about AI, reach out to Hoyt and talk about AI.
Right.
And sure, I have a product to sell, but I'm more than happy to talk to AI and just talk generally, because at the end of the day, Tomi, it's you and I helping people out and really looking at improving people's lives, their work lives, hopefully for the better. And with that kind of approach, I think we're all going to get a long way in this industry.
I love that. Thank you so much. Well, as you see, the time flies. Like,
Yes.
We're already 33 minutes. It goes by like super fast. I don't know. Like if I needed 30 minutes in a day, it would take forever. But when I'm on this podcast, like it just flies by. So let me ask you maybe like a couple of more questions. Let's see. What advice do you have for title companies considering in adopting, AI, and especially Alanna.AI?
Yeah. I we have that conversation all day, every day. It feels like, and it's great, but it does come back to we're trying to solve that number one problem for communications from a title company out to real estate agents, buyers and sellers and lenders. I mean, we're trying to facilitate that communication and make it as smooth as possible. And so I would, my first step would be is just looking at what's happening.
Right.
And I love your point about what's your process, because that really speaks volumes. It's like, how do you want to communicate outside your title company? And then hopefully we're able to step in and provide some solutions along those lines.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. We need to provide the solutions. And, like I work, my day job is, NPR title, VP of Business Development, but because my passion has always been the technology and finding the needle in the haystack, I kind of coined myself as an AI strategy consultant, and helping, whether it's a real estate agent, and I'm connecting those folks with the technologies that they need to be able to create those processes and streamline those processes. Because, I can't emphasize enough how laggard we are and how easier things should be. I hear a lot of real estate agents complaining about, like, the system that we use. oh, I've got enough things to log into. Well, you're going to be logging into stuff for the rest of your life. Like there's not, I remember speaking to someone many years ago. Actually, he was trying to develop an app that encompassed every app. Now, I have questions about security when it comes to that. But he was like, because everybody's chief complaint is like, oh, I got to have this login for this login for that. Well, that's where the facial recognition comes into play. That's where, which is AI, so like,
oh yeah,
all of these things to help you to be able to do those things. But it's so important to just go ahead and just adapt it. Just adapt it. How can I use it? Okay, title company, I see you're using this particular system. I work with NPR Title, but they use this system. Can you show me what you do so I can make sure my transaction is as smooth as I would like for it to be? Sure. Don't push back on it. You never know what they've adopted in the back end. If they have Alanna.AI, like they have literally changed the game. So, figure out these partners who are using AI and learn from them. Want to jump on a call with us, you and I, like, hey, we can help you to be able to come up with a solution, to help, the bottom line get to the closing table. So thank you so much, for joining me today. This is like truly as I mentioned, I'm speaking on May the 11th I don't know if I'm at 3 p.m. or what part of the talk where I'm coming in, but I'm talking about doing a deep dive of AI and ChatGPT for real estate agents to help them see the value in using that in their everyday processes. I'm just going to give a little bit away. I'm talking about the Jetsons. And so I'm going to make it fun and exciting and interactive because I'm truly a proponent for evolution. Like you said, we're here. It's not the future anymore. It's here. It's only going to improve with time. The internet from 1995 and the internet today are two different things. I was listening to IBM. They had a conference this morning. It was a live conference, and they were talking about, they had Delta Airlines as one of their special guests. And they were talking about everybody has free Wi-Fi on their planes these days. Now, remember, we used to have to be like, oh, I'm about to get on this flight. I'm going to be missing for 3 hours. And then when you land and now you can have your phone. Well, now you can constantly communicate with people as if you're, stationary. So like the advances in technology, guys, like I can't say enough about it. So don't push back, adapt to it. So Hoyt, how can people reach you if they have any questions, if they want to integrate Alanna.AI and with their systems, like what do they need to do?
Yeah, I'd say first and foremost, go to our website, www.alanna.ai. Great place to start. Always can reach out to me at hmann@alanna.ai. Easy to get in touch with us. Just reach out. We'll start the conversation, and we have great staff here at Alanna. And our goal again is to help people find solutions to the problems that currently exist in title. We have a lot of relationships with other vendors, and if we can't help you out, chances are we know somebody that can.
Right.
So
absolutely.
So yeah, that's just reach on out and start the conversation. We'll go from there.
I absolutely love it. Well, thank you again. Thank you so much for joining me today, especially to kick off my week of talking about technology. I've been really kind of gun shy on talking about AI to real estate folks, but I'm not alone. So I can always call you. I can always call. I talked to a lady on yesterday. They've got a company based out of Atlanta. There, we've got the technologies. We just need to be a lot more comfortable and having, these regular conversations. We're not talking in code.
No,
we're speaking in plain terms to help you understand what it does. You don't need to know the coding behind it and is this. You worry about the solution.
Yeah.
Let us
Yeah.
help you find the solution that actually works. So that's what we do.
Excellent.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Hold on for just 1 second, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Woo! That was absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much, Hoyt, for joining me today. That's why I always say, like, when you meet people, be kind. Be kind. Because he and I, we met at TLTA, the Texas Land and Title Association convention in Austin in 2021. I reached out to him on LinkedIn. He didn't answer me the first time. But no, he's a busy guy. He's actually speaking at NS3 this week. Is that right? Can you give me a thumbs up? Speaking this week. He's a busy guy. But I truly appreciate him. He's definitely dedicated to providing processes and, especially for the title industry. And, I'm going to have some deeper conversations with him because I have real estate agents actually that are asking me for other types of solutions that sounds very similar to what he already is doing. So, but again, thank you so much, for joining me. Congratulations on you guys' success. I can truly appreciate it. And that 2016 number kind of resonates with me because that's when I started writing articles and blog posts about AI. But guys, there's so much to learn. Run to the technology. Don't run away from it. But don't forget, on May 11th, at 3 p.m., meet us at TK's in Addison. I'm going to be doing a deep dive into ChatGPT for real estate agents. I'm super excited. You don't want to miss my presentation because I've been working on this since 2016. Been waiting on this moment. But if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Don't forget to visit Alanna.AI online to find out more about their organization. Remember, his name is Hoyt Mann. He's president and founder of Alanna.AI. You can find him on LinkedIn. Reach out, ask questions. We are here to help. But until the next episode, maybe I can get someone to record the event on Thursday. But if not, I'll just see you on next Tuesday. And as always, I'll see you in the closing room as soon as that title clears.